Hello and welcome to the Will Leitch Show. I am the aforementioned Will Leitch, and I thank you for spending part of your day with me. Today's show is about the military and sports. There's a saying among Marines, including today's guest Rob Riggle, that speaks a lot to how we often treat the military in this country. America isn't at war, the saying goes. The Marine Corps is at war. America is at the mall. I think about that saying every time I go to a sporting event anymore, where we fetishize the flag and the anthem and the troops and go, ooh, when a fighter plane flies overhead. But then we don't think about our soldiers or our military conflicts or the battles they have to face when they come home any other time the rest of the week. America isn't at war. The Marine Corps is at war. America is standing for the anthem at a football game. The idea of kneeling for the anthem, which was, is, and always will be about equality and racism and injustice in our criminal system, has gotten tied up with patriotism in the military in a way that speaks specifically to this idea. Our view of the military and what the flag stands for has gotten so skewed that many Americans casually and sloppily equate the flag and the military itself, as if they are the exact same thing, as if someone kneeling during the anthem is specifically a slap in the face of a soldier. That the NFL has become our weekly church visit where we honor the military, rather than do so every other day of the week, rather than be constantly aware of the tolls service takes on our enlisted men and women and their families. That's the reason this issue has such unnecessary divisive power, and why our president has seized on them so ravenously. It makes some sense, right? Like football, war is an activity we collectively support, as long as it's other people's children who are participating, not our own. This has turned into a kabuki theater with everyone going around playing their parts, showing they are patriotic by saluting America's heroes, by drinking Budweiser and wearing shirts that say, "These colors don't run," as if that means anything. It is fake sacrifice. A Marine friend told me it is fundamentally undemocratic to isolate a population from the costs of war and to create a warrior class apart from the nation's citizenry. The NFL and major North American professional sports work hand in hand on this. You salute on Sunday so you don't have to the rest of the week. It is making things worse. I am from a military family. My father served during Vietnam. Both of my grandfathers fought in World War II. One of my closest friends back home served 3 tours in Iraq and 2 in Afghanistan. And what I've learned from them is that the way to salute them is by honoring their service, by making sure their brothers and sisters in arms are able to transition into the real world when their service is done and have their wounds, physical and emotional, tended to and mended by honoring the ideals that they've sworn to uphold. To have them be a part of your life on days other than Sundays, in ways other than buying your team's special camouflage Memorial Day hat, by respecting their valor and dedication without always reflexively endorsing their mission. It is by doing them the respect of using your brain and thinking independently. It is remembering what exactly they're fighting for. Joining us today is the creator and star of Sony Crackle's Ski Master Academy. He also appears in the new movie Night School, as well as countless other, you literally cannot count them, classic comedies. Please welcome Rob Riggle. Sir, thank you.
Thank you.
By all means, I'm most appreciative of your time.
I'm assuming there's going to be a huge soundtrack applause plugged in there at some point.
As long as there were follow-up questions,
okay,
yes,
good.
that
Good,
will
good,
happen.
Whoa,
Yeah.
look at this.
Boy,
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, you really fill out a couch.
Hello, look at that. Who's ready for action?
There's a saying among, I have a friend of mine that's a Marine, he says there's a saying among Marines about how America is not at war, the Marine Corps is at war, America's at the mall. Is that quote. And I think about that when I think about football Sundays, the idea, like the pageantry of it all. And there's a theory of that says a lot of that is a way to, while still honoring the troops, in a lot of ways still making a show of it, like, oh, on Sunday we really do this, but a lot of times there's not actually the work put in during the week toward that. I'm curious, the anthem is a huge thing going on in sports right now. You are a sports guy, you are a Marine. I'm not gonna not be able to ask you about this. I'm curious, what do you, like, do you feel like just with the pageantry of the Sunday, like, 'cause it wasn't like that 10 years ago. Like 10, 15 years ago, they played the anthem, but now there's jets coming over and the flag is as big as the stadium. You've noticed that change. I'm just curious your thoughts on it.
I can't explain why they've amped up the sense of patriotism. I think it's probably because we've been at war.
Right. Yeah, they'll do
And
it.
so that's very prevalent, so that we do celebrate our military personnel, and we do it probably on a bigger scale because we are at war and have been at war for many, many, many years. So that's probably why you see it amped up compared to when we were kids.
Right.
Yeah, with regard to any of the other stuff,
Yeah, I'm not gonna. You don't have to put a big stance on that. I'm just.
Yeah.
But clearly, like it's like I mean, it feels like the league will have. I mean, to be able, I feel like I trust your judgment on this more than I trust most people that yell about this judgment. Is probably the best way to put it.
well, it's interesting because I get asked that question a lot. You're not the first person who wants to have some sort of perspective on that.
Right.
The truth is, and this is the best answer I can give, so bear with me, but how do I put it? I have an opinion on everybody and everything. I'm not going to tell you what the opinion is.
How unfortunate. You know what? I asked the one question that you had no opinion on. That's kind of a bummer in retrospect.
No, I do. I have an opinion on it. I'm just not going to share it because it's a no-win situation.
No, what we'll do is go ahead and say, we'll shut off the mic. We'll shut off the mic. No one will know. Just go ahead and tell me. Okay. Moving along, I'm curious. You are doing the NFL pregame again this year. How much research goes into the picks? I always wonder this because I like the segments. I always find them amusing, but I never know. Like, is this a serious pick? How much is he into this? How serious are you about this?
Super
serious.
Super serious.
I believe you.
Like, if they don't pan out, I don't get out of bed the next
Oh,
week.
really? Are there beatings? Are there punishments?
Yeah, and I'm working on all night. It's like a beautiful mind. I'm just working on algorithms and numbers and a chalkboard.
That's good. That sums it up.
No, honestly, sometimes I make my picks based on what would be funnier for the bit.
Of course, I would assume. Right.
So there's really no
There's
like
no
I'm like
actual
the Eagles are clearly going to win this game, but I'm going to take the Browns because it fits my bit better.
Of course. Wow, you are destroying the magic of what I thought is totally.
I know, I'm really pulling back the curtain.
I know, seriously. I'm not getting opinions on things. Apparently,
No.
it's not entirely on the up and up.
No, but I appreciate you trying, though.
Are you a gambler? I'm curious because the other part of this is lines, and gambling is a big thing this year. Like now, it's going to be legal.
It is legal, right?
I mean, it's legal in New Jersey and some states. It's not currently legal in this studio, so do not make any.
I don't know the gambling of which you speak.
Exactly. Gambling? What? Those are just random letters put into a weird order.
Those are hoodlums I hear about on the internet.
Are you? But do you gamble? Like, do you? Because I'm not a gambler. I personally,
I'm not a gambler unless I'm in Vegas.
Right.
If I'm in Vegas, I'm gambling because I'm in Vegas.
But
I don't.
If the world theoretically
becomes
Vegas.
I don't get up on Tuesday morning and start calling bookies.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm not a gambler per se.
Right.
Oh, I'll make a friendly bet with a friend or something. But I do find it interesting to look at the line. Meaning, the Vegas, all those experts, they get together and they come up with the line. Meaning, Eagles playing Browns. Eagles favored by 14.
Of course.
And I'm always blown away at how scary accurate they are.
Right. It's like a wisdom of crowds.
It's really close. It's within a couple points either way. So they really know what they're doing. I guess there is an algorithm to some of this stuff.
It's weird because I think the idea too is it's like the wisdom of crowds. Like they'll move that line whatever people are betting. Like,
yes.
And I think they did like a study for like the NCAA tournament and found that Vegas lines are actually the best way to predict who's going to win because it's just the wisdom. Because the line just goes up and down depending on who's betting on each side. So I'm curious. I want to ask you. I need to ask you about the Chiefs. I have a lot of questions about the Chiefs.
Fire.
Because I'm curious. First off, have you seen that video? There's a video of Andy Reid busting through where he's like the Kool-Aid man.
That was from me like years ago.
I know. I just
because that Kansas City Chiefs red.
Yes.
It not helping.
Yeah.
and yeah, I think I saw, but it was years ago.
Yeah, I know. But I just think of that whenever I think of Andy Reid and I think of the Chiefs. It's the first thing that comes to mind. But I'm curious. I'm from the Midwest. I'm originally from Central Illinois, so I've spent a lot of time in Kansas City. I'm a Cardinals fan.
Okay.
Because all the championships.
I hear
you understand. But I'm curious. I love both Kauffman Stadium and Arrowhead Stadium, but I always kind of hate how they're out. They're away from. They're away from town. Yeah. They're away from where it is.
In a weird way, yes, because I've been to many cities that have their stadiums kind of built into the city in some way, or on the waterfront, or some closer to their downtown metropolitan area.
Right.
And I appreciate that. Kansas City built the Truman Sports Complex out and away from everything, and you have both stadiums and this massive parking lot around both of them, right?
Which is great for tailgating.
It's great for tailgating. Best tailgating in the world, because we also do great barbecue there, and so it's great tailgating.
I've heard that.
But I also think it helps with the traffic and the getting out when it's time to leave and go. You're not all bogged up downtown. You can come and go as you please. And we like to tailgate. So, like, I know in some cities you can't even tailgate. You just have to take the subway to the stadium or the bus to the stadium. So I like the way it's set up. Maybe it's because it's the way I grew up. I grew up with it, so I'm kind of accustomed to it.
Right.
But I like because you can go tailgate and then you can get the heck out of Dodge, and it's away from the arteries leading out of there are big enough that everybody can get out. So it's good.
You go back every year for a charity event for the Royals, correct?
Not for the Royals. It's my charity.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but it's a Royals game. Is what I mean.
Yeah,
I don't think you're raising. I hope you're not raising money for the Royals. They're doing just fine.
No, it's a whole weekend, and they're the first part of it. We go play a softball game at the K on Friday night, and it's a big celebrity.
I've seen
game.
John Hamm's Don Dickinger jersey.
Yes, I bet you love that.
If you're gonna make
Was
a
it
Cardinals,
Dickinger? Is that his name?
yeah, Dickinger.
Yeah.
If you're gonna make the Cardinals a fan wear a Royals jersey, you have to have Dickinger on it.
And it was 85 Dickinger. It was really great. It was a great jersey. Because we all look for, I always like it because people come up with great names. Another great one was 76 and Buttermaker.
Of course,
classic.
Yes.
So.
So do you? So do you make it? So you go back for that every year? Is that every year?
Yeah. We just finished our 9th year was this past year, so we're going into our 10th year. So it's unbelievable that we've been doing it for 10 years already. So yeah, a decade of doing it, and it's been very good. We raised a lot of money for Children's Mercy Hospital.
Do you feel like you know the NFL better now that you're doing the pregame show? Like, you're a busy guy. You're in a lot of things. You probably don't have time to like. Do you?
I got to tell you, the best education I got from football is fantasy football.
Yeah, right.
That's how you get invested in. You get to know all the players out there, and you start paying attention. That's how I got dialed into players from other teams. So.
It's funny because we had Thomas Jones, the former Bears running back, on a couple shows ago, and I told him I had you on my fantasy team one time, and he was so mad.
Yeah.
I didn't say you disappointed my fantasy team. I literally just said I had you on my fantasy team, and he's like, don't talk about that shit.
Yeah.
They hate that stuff.
They do, because I just did a podcast with Marcellus Bennett.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And he said the exact same thing. He's like, I can't even begin to tell you. These people come up to you at airports and they're like, screw you. And you're like, what? He's like, you were a deadbeat on my team. You gave me no points. Like he owes you anything, you know? And how about the fact, he would say, he goes, how about the fact that I made 80% of my blocks that sprung open the game-winning touchdown, and I'm on a team sport where if I made 2 catches, but I had a great day blocking, and the team won, I did what I'm supposed to do, and then some. Sorry, you didn't get your points. He gets mad about it too.
Dude, yeah. And listen, again, because I'm definitely sensitive to the idea of criticizing a guy. But even just the idea that they did it. I remember there used to be a thing called the Hollywood Stock Exchange. There's a website where there was you could bet on actors, invest in actors' careers 15 years ago. And I'm glad that didn't catch on, because that would happen on every single show you ever went on. Oh man, I thought insert name of movie that they thought was going to be bigger. And
I've heard of things like this in offices where they do office pools and stuff where and they take a bunch of celebrities' names and they throw them in a hat and you draw and you have a draft and you can get things, and then you get this list of, and then anytime they appear in People magazine or
they get a point.
They get points and stuff, and it's exhausting. And then you hear that they come up to you and go, thanks for having an affair. You just cost me the season.
Yeah.
You're like, what?
Yeah, I think you get negative points for being on the show. I actually think it actually hurts you. Okay, so we have a little section we call frivolous questions of dubious import. They're Rob Riggle specific questions. These questions were not asked of Leah Thompson and not asked of Anthony Scaramucci. They are being asked of you. Question number 1, you frankly, from interviews and seeing your work, you actually, while you may be demonstrative on camera sometimes, you actually seem to me like a relatively normal, stable human being.
Thank you.
Thank you. I mean, listen, we've known each other for so long, I feel comfortable telling you that.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, do you think being a normal person, if you are so inclined, do you think that, you always hear people in comedy saying that, it's hard, it's so hard for you. Do you, it's bad for the soul? Do you think, can you be a normal person and still do comedy?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. They're not all broken toys, so to speak. Yeah, absolutely, you can be. I think you do find a lot of tortured souls in this business, but
you're not one of them.
But that also creates great art sometimes. It's a weird thing, you know. One thing can feed the other.
Would you rather, because I think you do great work, but would you rather like torture yourself to do great art, or just to be a normal happy person?
I just want some peace in the valley. I'm not trying.
Yeah, that's totally reasonable. Comedy, it's funny. Comedy has always seemed a little bit to me like media. I work in media. I'm a writer, and it's like people are always like, "Wow, you've made it." I'm like, "No, I'm just constantly working, scrambling all the time." I feel, and you never know when the bottom's going to fall out at any point. I can't. It's like got to be like that in comedy, and even just in performance, times 1,000.
Absolutely, yeah. I learned early on there's no finish line in show business. You get a gig, you do the best you can with it. You hope you do a good enough job that someone offers you another gig, and you hope you work with good people so that while you're doing the gig, it's enjoyable time. And you just keep working and working and working and developing and creating. There's like maybe 10 people in show business that have stuff done for them. Right. You know, they come, they present the script.
Yes. Here you go, Mr. Cruz.
Exactly.
Right.
And the rest of us, we got to grind, and that's just the way it is. And I'm not complaining about it. I love what I do. I wouldn't do anything else, but it's a grind.
Yeah, say yes to everything.
Yeah.
Including this show. You know he says yes to everything. He's here.
Yeah.
You are also a comedian, a comedian that does stuff in the world of football broadcasting. I'm curious, do you think Dennis Miller actually knew anything about football? Because he was a broadcaster for 2 years on Monday Night Football.
Yes, I think he was a sports fan.
Yeah.
And I think he made clever observations, but I don't know if he didn't train to be a sportscaster, and I don't think he lamented over the stats.
I remember when he got that gig, he said, "Hey, listen, it's a huge audience. Like, I'm a comedian. It's a huge audience. I want it. Yeah. Would you want that gig?" Like Kornheiser, I think later did it like that too. Like, would you want to be in a booth with Joe Buck and Troy Aikman?
No. I like those guys.
Yeah.
It's not about them.
Of course.
It's about.
It's not because they're dancing. Right?
No, it's not about them. It would be the expectation. Like, it's weird. If you go to an Italian restaurant, you expect to have some pasta. You don't expect to have fried rice.
Right.
It's just
even if you love fried rice.
Even if you love it.
Right.
You just it's a palate thing, and so I think when you cross the streams, it gets into a weird area. And so I think you can have fun and have an enjoyable time in the booth, but I don't know if you bring a comedian in.
Yeah.
I don't know if that. I don't know. It just there's a congruency that doesn't feel like it flows.
Yeah. I mean, Joe Buck is a comedian himself. So
yeah, he does fine. He does a fine job. Yeah.
Fellow Midwesterner. You used to joke when you were on the Daily Show that you could kill everyone on the show and have sex if you needed to. How long?
Kind of joking.
Yeah. Yes. Wow. My next question is going to be awesome now. How, theoretically speaking, do you think it would take you to kill me right now?
Like, okay.
Longer than it takes you to think about it?
Yeah, like it would have been done by now.
Right.
So
right.
I was just thinking, like, would I do a straight lunge frontal attack?
I mean,
in this case, can I be honest? Frontal attacks are traditionally a terrible idea in combat. But I feel pretty good about this.
Yeah, you don't need to sneak up on me.
I feel pretty good about this.
Really
I feel like I could just come straight over the table.
Yeah, that's. Does Frank Caliendo ever leave you angry voicemail messages?
No.
He's cool.
Frank and I like each other.
Yeah,
I like Frank a lot. He's a very nice guy, very sweet. We actually hung out together at the Terry Bradshaw roast. We had a good time. Yeah, no, I think he had done this the Fox NFL show for a long time, and I think he was just ready for something new. Right. So he left, and when he left, it just coincided. I had hosted the ESPYs that year, and I hosted in July. The opening came at the end of July. It just worked out very well that they gave me a chance, and I took it.
So. Well, I think you're great on the show. So
thanks.
And even though your John Madden impression is
I never could do impressions.
Yeah.
It was always more characterizations.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like Will Ferrell does more characterizations.
Yeah. I find the characterizations a lot funnier.
Yeah.
I think of course, about that. Okay, we ask this of every guest on the show. Forgive me, this is an indulgence. Remember when the Olympics were on and Bob Costas had the pink eye? Remember when he came on? Did you ever come on set and have pink eye? You ever had pink eye when you had to shoot something the next day?
No, I never had pink eye.
He was really a trooper, wasn't he?
God bless him, man. The show goes on. He did his best. He went out there. He didn't complain too much.
It was impressive.
He did what he had to do. Yeah.
A lot of tough. Patrick Mahomes, the next Tom Brady or the next Peyton Manning?
Ooh, that's one for the ages, isn't it? That's a question.
I'm a very serious journalist.
He may go into his own category.
Okay, yeah. He will elevate.
He will elevate.
Yes.
He will elevate.
Yes. We will not remember the names of those other two people.
He is a phenomenal young talent. His arm, universally, because I talk to guys in the NFL, universally, everybody knows this guy has an arm. Now, let's just see if he's got the rest of it, which is the whole when you're a quarterback in the NFL, it is the hardest job.
You can be perfect at everything.
And you do 99 things right and one thing wrong, and they're all over you. So it's the good thing is he's in Kansas City, which, we rally around our team a lot, and, we're not, New York media tends to pick on their guys a little hard. But I think he'll be fine. I'm excited to see him play.
I went to University of Illinois, which has a famously terrible football team. You are a Kansas
Jayhawk. We're in the same boat.
It's very similarly football team. The season is about to start. I'm having a hard time getting myself fired up for a team that was 2-10 last year. How do you get yourself fired up for a team? If you could help me for a team that's bad every year in football. Obviously, basketball.
I am a constant. I'm optimistic all the time, and what I always look at it as, what choice do I have? They're my team.
Yeah. You can't get rid of them.
I'm with them. They're with me. It's just I'm there. That's my team. So I can sit around and lament and complain about it, or I can just get happy about it and say, hey, I think we're going to do something this year.
And watch your highlights of the Mangino era.
That's it.
Which was great.
That was some
year,
good years.
Weren't they like number 1 or 2 at first?
We came in 4 in the nation. 4. We'll never
like
see,
Kansas.
It's crazy. And we went 12-1.
Yeah, that was a wild year.
And won the Orange Bowl. Yeah. We beat Virginia Tech.
Year.
It was 2008, and it was a magical year because we did that, and then we won the national championship in basketball. KU!
KU, yes. Which brings me to my next question, actually. Speaking, I'm an Illinois guy. Bill Self.
We stole him.
Toupee or not toupee?
Pay.
It's a toupee.
Oh, toupee. I thought you pay him or not pay him.
No. Toupee or not toupee?
I don't know.
It's a little.
I've been
in Illinois. We always thought it was a toupee. I think either he got a better one or some hair growth stuff at Kansas, because it looks better now than it did at Illinois.
I've stood next to him, and I do not notice anything.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, I think it's real.
Do you think? Last question on these. Do you think Roger Goodell is doing a good job?
I think Roger Goodell is doing the best job he can in one of probably the trickiest hot seats known to man. So I think he's doing the best he can.
Okay, I will. I accept that. I deem that answer acceptable. Okay, then we have a game. Now we have a game. The game is called. The game, you are famous for a lot of your films, where you have a distinctive yell.
Okay.
Things that you do a lot of yelling.
Sometimes.
We went through all of your films,
yeah,
including your childhood videos that your parents made of you. It's a whole thing. It's the cloud. We just got them right out of there. So we've seen all of them. So we are going to play the sound of a Rob Riggle yell, and we're going to see if you can tell us what film it is from. Okay? Okay, question number 1.
You shot me in the dick! Oh my God!
Yeah, that high pitched. Oh.
Yeah, yes.
That's clearly I had my wiener shot off.
Yes,
so that would be 21 Jump Street.
Yeah, that is the distinctive sound.
Yeah.
Yes. You really, it takes a couple times.
Yep.
You have a couple people.
It's a very distinct sound.
Okay, question number 2. Scream number 2.
Right in the nuts. That was beautiful.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, that would be The Hangover.
Okay, that's correct. I've heard of that film as well. Number 3.
Stranger danger! Stranger danger!
Oh, good Lord. You went on a deep track on that
we
one.
went through your childhood films. I'm telling you, we went all the way through.
That was The Goods.
The
Live
Goods.
Hard,
Good
Sell
call.
Hard, or
Good call.
whatever.
Good call. Okay, number 4.
I fucking shot Bin Laden!
This is one of my favorite sketches you've ever done, by the way. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Just I'll let you.
That would be the Funny or Die clip, The Man Who Shot Bin Laden.
That is literally one of the funniest sketches.
Oh,
I've
good.
ever seen.
Thank you.
I have many friends that love that very much. Okay, next, 3 more. Yeah.
Step Brothers.
Yeah. Movie that gets better every year. That's actually a movie that gets funnier every single year. Okay, two more. Two more. Gun. Gun.
Gun. The other guys, man?
That's correct. Good job.
Hey,
Good job.
hey.
Okay, and last one.
I want to say Carrie.
Psycho. Close.
Psycho.
Psycho.
Damn.
Well, actually, as a distinctive yell, could you do us the Psycho? Like if you were Marion Crane in that, what would your be interpretation as an actor if you had to play the Marion Crane role of that Scream? Do you know how you would do that?
I don't even know how I would do that.
Yeah.
It has to be high pitched.
Yeah, it had to be high. Oh, that was good. That was good.
I'm not there yet.
That made something tingle. Okay, last thing that we do, then we'll let you go on your merry way. There used to be a game called Outburst, where it's like Family Feud played really fast.
Okay.
You put 30 seconds on the clock, and I give you a category. Like, for example, if I said books of the Bible, and you'd have 30 seconds to name as many books of the Bible as you can.
Oh, good Lord. Okay.
This is not that question because these are, again.
You gave it away already.
Exactly. It's Rob Riggle specific. Okay, the category is celebrities who have played Colonel Sanders in the KFC commercials. How many of them can you name that have played Colonel Sanders in those KFC commercials? Have you heard of these commercials?
Yes. Are
I
you
didn't
ready?
know if you'd heard of these
I
commercials.
think I know this.
I wasn't. We weren't quite registering. I was making sure.
Yep.
You know the commercials.
Colonel Sanders.
You're aware. Okay, 30 seconds on the clock. Ready? Go.
Daryl Hammond.
Yes.
Jim Gaffigan.
Yes.
Norm Macdonald.
Yes.
George Hamilton.
Yes.
Me.
Yes.
Rob Lowe.
Yes.
Billy Zane.
Yes.
Ray Liotta.
Yes.
Reba McEntire.
Yes.
Jason Alexander.
Yes.
And there's another one, right? The new guy. Who's the new one?
5 seconds.
They just got him.
Okay, I feel comfortable.
I don't know.
I feel comfortable saying that is the best performance we have ever had on this game. That was the ones you missed were Dolph Ziggler, who's a wrestler. I'm told he's a wrestler. I don't really know anything.
I missed that
one. Vincent Kartheiser from Mad Men.
Okay.
And Christopher Boyer, another person I don't know, and Hafthor Julius Bjornsson, who is the Mountain from Game of Thrones.
Okay,
That's
that's what it was.
That's the Mountain
new
Man.
guy.
Yeah, that's the new guy. Yeah. So that was very done.
I hadn't heard of these other guys.
Yeah, well, that's apparently they've not taken the KFC leap that bounce that you got. Thank you so much, sir, for coming on. This was very fun. I'm very honored.
Yeah.
By all means, Rob Riggle. He has many opinions on many things. That'll do it for this episode of the Will Leitch Show. Thank you again for our great guest, Rob Riggle. And please look for us next time on SITV, Amazon channels, or wherever your Will Leitches are sold.